Hey, how are you doing? Listen, I want to, again, as usual, congratulate everybody for great conversations on the forum. I want to mention that for week 3 that ends on the 19th, um, the forums that and the things you guys discussed related to survey designs, correlation designs, and to some extent causal comparative designs. I want to mention that survey designs are referred to usually as descriptive research. Normally in survey designs, basically what we're doing is we're collecting information related to attitudes, etc. And with that information, we understand a particular group of participants better. And as most of you indicated in the forum, you see that for exactly that. Survey designs are not meant to manipulate variables. They're meant to understand how things are. Regarding correlation and causal comparative designs, some of you made some a great observation. They're very similar in that there's no manipulation of any independent variable. There's nobody being sent to a particular type of instructional classroom and another group not. Rather, under both types of designs, you take sort of things as they are. And in that case, they're similar to survey research, except in correlational research, what we're looking for is relationships among two or more variables. For example, there's some things in your book actually that talk about that show examples of correlations. For example, table 8.1 on page 197 shows a clear table on the relationship between IQ and GPA, etc. And at the bottom of that, you'll see that it shows the strength of that relationship. For example, there's a very strong positive relation between IQ and GPA with this group of students, with a correlation coefficient equal to 0.95, positive 0.95. Whereas if you look at the last column that shows a strong negative relation between IQ and errors, and that makes sense. Some of you also pointed out correctly that causation should not be attributed to correlational studies. However, let me say this. For example, on cigarettes, where it says, cigarettes may cause serious disease. As far as I know, there has never been an experimental study to show that because, and I'm not quite sure whether I point this out in the narrated slides or not, so forgive me if I have. But basically, to show that, one would have to take a group of people that never smoked and then would have to randomly assign half of them to smoke and half of them not to smoke and wait for a number of years to see what will happen. Obviously, that's not ethical. So the evidence for the linkage between emphysema and cancer and smoking is based on correlational evidence, also probably some causal comparative studies. So the evidence that was garnered using correlational studies and causal comparative studies was strong enough to show that, yes, there probably is a linkage between smoking and these diseases. Correlational studies have to be interpreted within the context of what we know about a situation. I'm sure that scientists know about some of the many chemicals in cigarettes and could make a case that there would be a linkage, and then lo and behold, there is a strong correlation. So most of our studies in education actually rely on survey, correlation, and causal comparative because it's rarely the case that we can take students and randomly assign them to one group or the other. Usually parents don't like that kind of thing, and neither do students. Okay, the other, let's see, I don't want to make this too long, but in terms of this coming week, you're going to be getting more into experimental designs and then causal comparative designs and experimental and quasi-experimental designs. And you'll see in the experimental designs that what really sets those apart is that there's random assignment to groups, and there's also manipulation of an independent variable, which does not happen either in a correlational, causal comparative, or survey design. So I hope you pick up on that. We also begin descriptive statistics. Please don't get upset with that word, descriptive statistics. What we're going to talk about, the purpose of descriptive statistics, it's easy for me to say, is simply to organize data so that we can make sense of it. And so we'll talk about things like frequency distributions and measures of central tendency like the mean, etc. So as usual, please, when you make